Hello friends, I'm Al and welcome to Al's Vinyl Collection. Today I want to spend some time listening for the first time to a song which has been recommended a few times on the channel, but something really that I've wanted to dive into myself, which is Dire Straits, specifically Brothers in Arms. Now I know probably a few Dire Straits songs at best, a handful. I think off the top of my head, Sultans of Swing obviously, Money for Nothing, and probably Walk of Life. I think I'm just looking at the track listing here as well. I can see that two of those songs are on this album, which probably says something. But Brothers in Arms has been one which I have seen requested, and I've read in quite a few threads online, is one of those songs that you have to listen to. So without further ado, let's see where this takes us.
These mist-covered mountains are a home now for me, but my home is the lowlands, and always will be. Someday you'll return to your valleys and your farms, and you'll no longer burn to be brothers in arms. Through these fields of destruction, baptisms of fire, I've witnessed your suffering as the battle raged high, and though it hurt me so bad, in the fear and alarm, you did not desert me, my brothers in arms. There's so many different worlds, so many different suns, and we have just one world, but we live in different ones. Every man has to die, but it's written in the starlight, in every line in your palm. We're fools to make war on our brothers in arms.
Wow. 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 So I had the lyrics up whilst I was listening to that, and it's a really interesting song because there are so many different directions I feel this can be taking, but I think we have to just halt everything for the second now and just talk about Mark Knopfler. I believe it's pronounced Knopfler. Probably not. Probably really butchered it. I'm not sure. But his guitar work is just... The lyrics were beautiful. And my perceived meaning behind the song, to me, hearing that for the first time, trying to take it in as it's coming, it was beautiful. But his guitar work can almost say 100 words more with just 3 notes. His passion and soul behind that playing, as a guitarist myself, Mark is probably the player you always want to become, just in the emotion behind that. And the instrumentation and the use of instrumentation. Now I say, whilst listening to this, I did use my hand gestures, which I've used a long time ago, but I think they might have been cut off by the player image. But the use of engineering within the song is beautiful. The panning at the start of a very, very soft guitar, rhythm guitar at the start, panned hard left, was beautiful to complement Mark's solo guitar mid-center. And that beauty in the engineering carried on throughout the song, but also the genius in the instrumentation. Now, one thing that I've always lived by with music is a quote from Buck Owens. Now, I don't know it off the top of my head, I just know the gist of it, where he was saying that essentially with music, something should always be happening. And it's very true. To keep a piece of music interesting, something should always be happening, whether that's between the lines, a guitarist plays a lick that's different every time, not the same lick, but just something different. Or maybe you give it to the drums and they do a little fill. Maybe the keyboard takes over for just a short refrain. But something should always be happening. And with this song, it developed, and then it almost rose like a fire, and then it died down again, and then it rose, and then it died down again. And that's beautiful. and the instrumentation was beautiful in there, but the solos really stand out. But let's talk about the lyrics very, very briefly. I'm not going to dissect them. I just want to basically give my what I think of the lyrics, because I've been told it's a very emotional song, and without knowing the true meaning, without knowing what Mark thought behind it, for me, it feels friendship, brotherhood, but also there are a few lines in there anti-war, effectively. This was released in 1985. I don't know actually if Mark did or Dire Straits toured with Bruce Springsteen. I know in 1988, I believe it is, Bruce Springsteen did a tour, or was part of a tour to kind of combat war, but an anti-war, a peace tour, and songs like "Born in the USA" are obviously anti-war. But that's kind of where I stand. So 1985 was obviously a big period for peace movements. But the lyrics, they do feel anti-war in times, but really what stood out for me is just the relation personally for friends who aren't around as such. And that's where I thought the song might go, brothers in arms, kind of being like your dearest, your brothers. For me, I you consider your friends a brother, and my best friend who isn't around, I consider him my brother, and it's like a brother in arms, And the opening lyrics of "Mist-covered mountains, someday you'll return to your valleys and your farms," on your surface could almost be "someday you'll return to your valleys and farms." When I first listened to it, when I first heard those lines being sung, felt like a return, almost like a heavenly home kind of thing, returned to a place spiritually, but then also it could literally be someday you'll be returned to your home if you're in a war, if you're off fighting overseas. But especially towards the end, the sun's gone to hell and the moon's riding high. Let me bid you farewell, every man has to die. Now this, again, for me spiritually, feels like it could just be like a farewell to a friend, but also literal brothers in arms on a battlefield, written in the starlight and every line in your palm is a beautiful, beautiful refrain. I think the songwriting in this is beautiful, but I think, as I said earlier, Mark's guitar work really spoke for itself, and it really just I felt 100 emotions through just 5 notes, and I think it's beautiful. But I would really like to hear your thoughts on the song, because I think there's a lot more to this, and I would like to go back and listen to this again, and maybe just try and look into the context of the period when he wrote the song and what was going on in the world, just to see if it is related to a kind of an anti-war, kind of peace protest style song, and just see if that's the intent behind the song, or if it is more of a kind of a personal goodbye to a friend, because it could be, I've witnessed your suffering as the battle raged higher. It could be a look at the personal struggles that we go through, or it could be literally in a battle. I'm not too sure, but please let me know your thoughts on the song, your interpretations, and if you agree with what I said, that's great, but I would love to hear differing opinions. That's what music's for, and it brings us all together to kind of to know what others think. So thank you for joining me on this journey with this song. It was really beautiful. And if there are any other Dire Straits songs which I need to look into, or songs of this nature, or songs that remind you kind of similar themes that I spoke about, then please do let me know. I'm always open to suggestions to carry these videos forward. But with that said, thank you again for joining me here, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care.